Hello everyone! Have you ever wondered why Crimea is the center of the Russia-Ukraine conflict? Today, we uncover the strategic secrets, the power plays, and why the whole world is watching this tiny but crucial peninsula. Stay tuned, because what you learn here could change the way you see this war forever. Hello everyone! Welcome back to the channel. After the ongoing tensions between Russia and Ukraine, one region has become the center of global attention, Crimea. In this video, we will break down why Crimea is so important in this conflict. Crimea is not just land. It's a strategic hub controlling access to the Black Sea. Historically, it has changed hands multiple times, but today it stands at the heart of modern geopolitics. Russia's annexation in 2014 was a major turning point. Ukraine views it as an integral part of its territory. The international community has also responded with sanctions and warnings. But why does everyone focus so much on this peninsula? The answer lies in its geography, economy, and military significance. Crimea is home to key naval bases and ports, controlling trade routes and military access. Whoever controls Crimea can project power across the Black Sea, and even influence parts of Eastern Europe. Today, we will explore all these aspects in detail. From military strategies to economic importance, and even political influence, Crimea's role is far bigger than its size. Stay with us as we uncover the facts and explain why Crimea is the key to this war. Crimea's geography is the first reason it holds immense strategic value. The peninsula extends into the Black Sea, providing control over maritime routes connecting Europe, the Middle East, and even parts of Asia. Its coastline hosts several important ports, including Sevastopol, a historic naval base for Russia. These ports are crucial because they allow naval dominance and ensure supply lines during conflicts. The peninsula's terrain also plays a role. Mountains in the south and flat lands in the north provide natural defenses and tactical advantages. Controlling Crimea allows a country to monitor and influence Black Sea traffic, affecting trade and military operations across the region. Additionally, Crimea's proximity to key Ukrainian regions makes it a launch point for military operations or defensive strategies. From a geopolitical perspective, countries with influence over Crimea can project power far beyond their borders, affecting neighboring nations. Control over Crimea also sends strong political messages. It demonstrates strength, military capability, and international influence. In recent years, both Russia and Ukraine have recognized that losing or gaining Crimea would directly impact national security, economic influence, and political power. Its strategic location alone explains why Crimea remains the most watched and contested territory in Eastern Europe. Every move in Crimea is observed by global powers, making it a hotspot for international diplomacy and conflict. To understand Crimea's significance, we must look at its history. Crimea has been a crossroads of civilizations for centuries. From the Greeks and Romans to the Ottoman Empire and Russia, many powers have claimed it. In the 18th century, Russia annexed Crimea, seeing it as a critical step to gain Black Sea access. During the Soviet era, Crimea was transferred to Ukraine in 1954. This historical decision became controversial after the Soviet Union collapsed. The local population in Crimea includes Russians, Ukrainians, and Crimean Tatars, creating a complex demographic and cultural mix. Russia has long justified its presence in Crimea by citing historical ties and the presence of Russian-speaking populations. Ukraine, on the other hand, emphasizes territorial integrity and international law. The 2014 annexation by Russia triggered global condemnation and sanctions. Many countries refused to recognize Russia's claim, leading to international tension. Historical grievances continue to influence political and military decisions today. Understanding the past helps explain current events. Crimea's rich history, combined with its cultural diversity, makes it more than just a piece of land. It is a symbol of national pride, historical identity, and political leverage. Both Russia and Ukraine use history to justify their positions. The historical background explains why the conflict over Crimea is so enduring and why the world closely monitors any developments in the region. Military strategy makes Crimea even more critical. The peninsula hosts key military bases, including Russia's Black Sea Fleet in Sevastopol. Control over these bases allows a nation to dominate the Black Sea region, providing both offensive and defensive capabilities. Missile systems, airfields, and radar installations in Crimea enhance military surveillance and power projection. For Ukraine, regaining control would weaken Russia's influence and secure Ukrainian borders. Naval access from Crimea also allows power projection into the Mediterranean and beyond. During conflicts, Crimea becomes a logistical hub for troops, weapons, and supplies. Its geography aids in monitoring and controlling enemy movements. Both Russia and Ukraine recognize that losing military control over Crimea would significantly shift the balance of power. International observers closely watch troop movements and defense installations in the region. Any escalation can quickly impact global security dynamics. Military importance is also tied to strategic deterrence. Controlling Crimea allows a nation to discourage attacks or enforce blockades effectively. This explains why the peninsula is often the first target in political and military negotiations. Understanding Crimea's military value is crucial for anyone studying the ongoing conflict, as it is central to both defense strategies and offensive operations. Its military significance is unmatched in the region. Beyond military value, Crimea has notable economic importance. Its ports handle commercial shipping, supporting regional trade across the Black Sea. Access to these routes is vital for energy supplies, raw materials, and agricultural exports. Crimea also holds potential offshore oil and gas reserves, increasing its economic appeal. Tourism contributes to the local economy, with Crimea historically attracting visitors due to its beaches and historic sites. Control over the peninsula influences economic policies and energy distribution. Russia benefits from controlling key ports and trade routes, while Ukraine loses significant economic leverage. Sanctions and restrictions have affected Crimea's economy, but strategic control remains valuable. Natural resources, including minerals and arable land, further enhance its economic importance. Crimea's economy is intertwined with regional stability and international trade. Control over the region affects economic growth, trade negotiations, and regional influence. Economic factors often drive military and political decisions, as dominating trade and resources strengthens national power. The economic perspective shows that Crimea is more than a military prize. It is a valuable asset for energy, trade, and tourism, influencing both local and international economies. Understanding economic significance helps explain why nations invest heavily in controlling this relatively small region, making it a key player in regional geopolitics. Crimea is a powerful political symbol. For Russia, it represents national pride and territorial expansion. The annexation in 2014 boosted domestic support and showed global assertiveness. For Ukraine, Crimea is a symbol of sovereignty and international law. Losing it undermines national integrity. Political leaders in both countries use Crimea to rally public opinion, justify military actions, and influence diplomacy. Internationally, Crimea affects alliances, sanctions, and negotiations. Countries like the United States, NATO members, and European Union closely monitor Crimea because its control can shift regional power balances. Diplomatic discussions often include Crimea as a non-negotiable point. Decisions about Crimea impact global relations, arms treaties, and security policies. Political messaging around Crimea is strong in media and propaganda. Leaders use historical, cultural, and military narratives to strengthen their positions. Crimea's political significance also lies in signaling power. Whoever controls Crimea sends a message to allies and adversaries about strength and influence. This political leverage is why Crimea remains central to diplomatic talks, negotiations, and peace plans. Any changes in Crimea's control immediately affect international relations, highlighting its continued relevance and importance in global politics. Crimea has triggered reactions worldwide. The 2014 annexation by Russia led to immediate condemnation by the United Nations. Many countries, including the United States, European Union members, and others, imposed sanctions on Russia. The global response shows that Crimea is not just a local issue. International organizations continue to monitor and report on developments in the region. Military aid, humanitarian support, and diplomatic negotiations often involve Crimea indirectly. The peninsula influences decisions on foreign policy, alliances, and trade agreements. Countries that rely on Black Sea access pay close attention to Crimea's status. The international community sees Crimea as a test of global law and order. Any violation of borders sets precedents affecting other regions worldwide. News coverage, documentaries, and expert analysis frequently focus on Crimea, demonstrating its global importance. These reactions shape the strategies of both Russia and Ukraine. International pressure can influence military operations, economic policies, and political decisions. The world's focus on Crimea highlights its role beyond local interests. It affects global security, economic stability, and diplomatic negotiations. International attention ensures that any action in Crimea is scrutinized, making it a hotspot for monitoring and intervention, and reinforcing its status as a pivotal point in global geopolitics. Crimea's conflict affects the lives of its residents. Local populations, including Russians, Ukrainians, and Crimean Tatars, face uncertainty and tension. Political changes influence citizenship, property rights, and access to services. Education, healthcare, and employment are impacted by ongoing disputes. Families may be divided by allegiances and political pressures. Migration occurs as some residents leave for safety or better opportunities. Humanitarian organizations monitor the region, providing aid and support where needed. Conflict often leads to restrictions on freedoms, such as movement and expression. Economic hardship due to sanctions and military presence also affects daily life. Cultural identity and historical heritage play a role in shaping community sentiments. Crimean Tatars in particular have historically faced persecution, and current conflicts affect their rights and social status. Understanding the human dimension is essential to grasp the full impact of Crimea's geopolitical importance. Political and military strategies directly influence civilian life. Media coverage often highlights human stories, reminding the world that Crimea's significance is not only strategic but deeply personal. The human impact underscores why peaceful resolution is vital and why global attention remains necessary to protect communities and maintain stability. Looking ahead, Crimea will continue to shape regional dynamics. Several future scenarios are possible. Russia may maintain control, strengthening its position in the Black Sea and Eastern Europe. Ukraine may attempt diplomatic or military measures to regain influence. International pressure, sanctions, and negotiations could shift the balance. Escalation risks remain high, with both sides aware of global scrutiny. Peace agreements could stabilize the region, but trust and enforcement are critical. Control over Crimea will continue to impact trade, energy, and military strategies. Political leaders must balance national pride with practical solutions. International alliances and cooperation could influence outcomes. Technological advances, surveillance, and intelligence gathering will play a role in monitoring the peninsula. Regional stability depends on strategic decisions made by Russia, Ukraine, and the international community. Civilian safety, economic recovery, and diplomatic resolution are intertwined with these choices. While the future is uncertain, Crimea's role remains central to any analysis of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Its geopolitical, economic, and political importance ensures that it will stay in global focus for years to come. Observers around the world watch each development, knowing that small changes in Crimea could ripple across the region and beyond, making it a defining factor in future security and political outcomes. In conclusion, Crimea is much more than a peninsula. Its geography, history, military, economic, and political significance make it the key to understanding the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Control over Crimea affects regional security, international relations, and global economic interests. The human impact reminds us that real people live amid these geopolitical struggles. The international community's response ensures that Crimea remains a focal point of global attention. Future scenarios show that its influence will continue to shape strategy, diplomacy, and policy for years to come. By understanding Crimea, we gain insight into larger patterns of power, conflict, and cooperation in Eastern Europe and beyond. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dive analysis. Hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest videos. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Crimea will remain under Russia's control, or could the situation change? Let's discuss and learn together.